Hello all, Rosalie Ina here from rosaliesjourney.com, your cosmic midwife, and I'm going through another series of realizations, remembrance, and the beautiful way that my mind pieces the pieces together, the way my higher self reminds me, the way those who love me unconditionally in the spirit realms and other dimensions that love me are showing me and my connection to them. So I've always felt this way, but I'm finally like, it's sinking all the way in that I have always been connected to the fairy and the elemental realm. Now, as I was watching this video, I'll just put a little snippet there. Um, from Maria, who I've seen on like TikTok, maybe you've seen her too, but she was talking about the fairies and the elemental realms, and everything she was explaining, I was getting a re-visualization, like being shown back again, a memory of an experience I had in this physical reality with either the hummingbirds, going back to when I was a child, to Pegasuses, which I have a Pegasus guide called Munich, who is white. And like, I know I'm an old soul, but it's just like, huh? Because the way my journey has led me, I remembered, and then it was just like squashed. So I put it all away because it wasn't accepted in the household I grew up in as a Jehovah's Witness. But I understand now why I went through that process, why I went through all of the sometimes very heartbreaking, heart-wrenching experiences to lead me back. And now I understand why I do these different things, because maybe I had those elven ears, the elemental pointy ears, but I know in my ear canals, like, I can hear different things, and so I add my hands in different ways and to hear nature, to hear clearer. And I'm going back to when I was at the ocean a couple days ago, how I had, where I was really in alignment and was totally in my zone, no matter who was looking at me. Even I knew many were looking at me because I was dancing and I was by myself. And I had my incense going, and right in the most beautiful moment, a shark appeared in the distance, jumping out of the ocean and then falling back in. And then there was another experience later on where I was in the ocean, and this being came, and I couldn't see exactly what it was. And there were some people to the side of me that were like, "What is that?" That is something odd in the ocean. And I don't still know exactly what it was, but it was a being from the ocean, something not normal that we typically see as humans. But because I have such a deep watery connection, much Scorpio energy, I have much Piscean energy, and my North Node is in Cancer, which is another water sign. And then over even the past few days, there's been thunderstorms, and I've been connecting with those elements and working to remember, but not only remember how to work with those energies, but to remember when to use it for the greater good as well, which it's still opening and enveloping. But it's just amazing to remember. And now I'm seeing why, like, just the other day, literally there was a fairy, like, there's butterflies all over me. Sometimes it was explained that fairies can incarnate as dragonflies and butterflies, and there's an abundance around my house, an abundance. They're always there in this time of the season, and just even today, just today, there's a couple hummingbirds that came by, reminded me, hey, put the feeder out for me, because I kept forgetting. So I brought the feeder out. There were also butterflies that were coming literally right around me. The flies as well. Maybe, I don't know if they're part of the elemental kingdom, but they serve a great purpose and they talk to me a lot. um, what was the other thing? So yeah, the butterflies and the dragonflies and the bees were all around me, and it was just a beautiful experience today. And and then the other day, seeing a fairy that was looking like a white butterfly, but I could tell it was not a normal butterfly. I didn't see it like crystal clear, but I was like, that is not a butterfly. That is something else. And then it came to, it's a fairy. So I didn't realize this clarity until this clarity really came over me today, that I'm very connected to the fairy realm, and the elemental realm, and the dragons. I mean, I even have my dragon earrings on right now. But I'm just like, wow. But I can see on my mother's lineage how it's always been connected to them, because I've always had memories, experiences, even when I was a kid down in Virginia in the fields and in the forest. Like I just feel so safe there. Like even at home, there's trees all around me. I just feel very safe. And oh, I'm just getting a thing. Even when the rabbits are in my yard, there's sometimes I'll see just little sparks of different lights, sometimes red, sometimes different colors. I do see blue lights too, but I think those are separate. Give me clarity on that when the time is right. But, and then I'll just feel like just the way the wind moves. And so I bring this up because I'm remembering. So if I'm remembering, I know there's others of you remembering. And maybe when you're seeing this, even if this is years later, this serves as a reminder for you that yes, you're connected to them. Yes, you're seeing them. And there's more and more coming out, and it's being, once you're like more in your heart center, when you're in your center, when you're in your vortex, however you want to call it, when you're in alignment with your higher self, when you're in alignment with your heart knowing, they will reveal themselves to you. I said yourself because they're aspects of you, or maybe versions of you in other lives that, in parallel realities. Who knows? There's many, many probabilities. But just the way synchronicity works with me, how like if I just follow my joy, it leads me to this step, that leads me to this step, that leads me to this step, that leads me to this step, and then it's all a beautiful experience. So follow your joy. Follow what your heart leads you to take a left here, or the wind moves you to look and move your head here, and then you see something or feel something or sense something or whatever the case may be. Follow that, and it's going to lead you to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. And when you find the joy in that, it just like, oh, it's just amazing. And it just, that full circle moment going back to Munich, because when I've done a lot of journey work, a lot of times I'm with my Pegasus, which actually evolved into an alicorn, which is a winged unicorn, still white, but has the unicorn thing and has the wings. I see him now. It's just confirmation. So that's the other thing. You'll just get confirmation. So keep asking the questions, even if it's telepathically in your head, putting it out there to the universe to help you piece the pieces of the puzzle for yourself together to remember your journey. It's beautiful. Allow the process to unfold and you'll just be amazed. Soul family watching this, I love you. Welcome to your journey of remembrance. You are all that in a bag of chips. But I'm understanding too why there's this connection, you know, with flowers, with roses. I felt called to recently get this tattoo, which it's evolving with the bee. And this is a bee that actually did land on me, that I had tattooed on me. Um, but just remembering intuitively the markings. I have 6 roses on me now, and 6 is balance and harmony. I have a lot of Libra energy as well. So I actually have like all of the elements in balance. The masculine and feminine is very balanced within me. I feel to say that for many of you too. Maybe some of you can, you just easily find that balance with, not necessarily androgynous, although if you identify that way, that's fine. But I'm just explaining like you have your feminine and your masculine in balance. Maybe you're also a master number. Don't have to be. I'm Life Path 11, which is a master number. So I receive these divine insights um, that are just remarkable, and I find just like this elation of joy feeling. It's happy. It's happy to me. So I just wanted to explain that. So if you're seeing or experiencing or want to ask, connect with them. You probably do have a connection with the elementals or the fairy realm or fae realm, however you want to word it. If you have those inclinations, my reasoning for bringing my experiences up is to remind you also to go further, take those next steps. If you've always been connected to those types of beautiful things, or when you're in the forest and you just recognize what to touch, what not to touch, what to pass through, what not to pass through, where you just intuitively know these things, you're probably connected to the fairy realm. And I also feel to say, because you're remembering and you're incarnated now in this reality, to call that back in. That might be part of your purpose, is to call that back in, so we can bring the fairy realm back, because we are ascending and the vibration of the planet is rising as we're changing and coming back into love. So it's time for all of those to come back eventually, one step at a time, one step at a time, as with us, one step at a time. But yeah, do your part to call them back, to practice with them. They're great teachers as well. So I'm going to keep connecting further now that I'm having more of this realization, to connect and be a bit more intentional in communicating, so that there is that bridge reconnecting, that knowing and communication, so that we can work with the land, because there's a lot of things, that parts of the earth that need to be cleaned up, and we can all work together again like it used to be. I love you. Thank you, elementals and fairies and all things wonderful in love. God be love. Thank you, thank you, thank you.